It's just the most weird story ever. Do you know the story? Do you remember the story? Do you need me to refresh you on the story,
so.
Terry?
Go ahead. I think I know.
It's just and I know it's true because the people who all told me, they're not lying. You would think if you heard it through people from one to another, it was like you heard a third-party kind of story.
Right.
As I guess I did, you would not believe it. If you heard it through a friend of a friend of a friend, you would say, oh, that's not true. That can't be true. But I heard it from enough people that were with him that day. This is a true story. And when I tell you, you won't even believe it. I think it was a swan. Are there such things as swans? Have you heard of a swan?
A swan.
What was it?
It was a goose.
It was a goose.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a swan. It was a goose, Terry.
All right.
The funniest sad story ever.
Funniest sad story
And the fact that we know this guy personally adds to it, and you won't get that part of it. He's like the most ogreish oaf you can really picture, okay?
All right.
He's not very athletic at all. Not that you have to be to play golf.
Right.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not an athletic sport whatsoever. The people who play think they're athletes, but they're not. Anyway.
He wasn't really bright either. Right?
He's not a very bright guy.
45-year-old intern.
He's a 45-year-old intern, basically. You picture that at all?
He's Lenny
Yes.
from Of Mice and Men. You know, he's
I don't
accidentally
know who
kills
that
little
is.
animals, you know.
I don't know who that is, but picture whoever is like
Right.
the
Nicest
oversized, nice, kind of, not the sharpest knife in the drawer kind of guy who's not feeling bad about his life because he doesn't know any better.
Okay.
All right? The fact that he's a 45-year-old intern at a radio station, he's happy about. So anyway, he goes out golfing with some people here.
Right.
And he steps up at the tee, and keep in mind, he's an oversized guy. He's about 6'5", and he weighs about close to, I would say, 3 bills, and
Wow.
not the kind of guy you would think is the most agile, the most fluid swing as far as golf is concerned, but you
Sure.
never know from person to person. So anyway, he gets up at the tee there, and there's a goose in the water about a foot off the ground, which is where a lot of golf shots go if you're not a professional.
Right.
If you're lucky to get it off the ground at all. And the goose is swimming by in the water about 50 feet ahead of the tee, thinking he's safe because most people on the golf course can get it. I mean, the 1 in a million shot. Anyway, the goose is swimming by, takes his big tee shot, bam! Right in the goose's, and the goose is on land. It's not in the water. Just walking on the grass.
Right.
Right in the goose's craw, the side of the goose, and it's stuck in his body. The ball is literally stuck in the goose's body. The goose is making sounds that are just not goose sounds. Just like a plaintive wail, as you heard that phrase once, Terry. Just like wailing in pain. It's not a happy story as I tell it right now, okay?
It doesn't sound like it would feel really good.
No, this is not a feel-good story as it stands right now.
Right.
But a 1 in a million shot, and the ball is still lodged in the goose, and the goose is still alive. So this guy, without hesitation, this guy named Mike, doesn't even think, but reacts so quickly, he sprints over to the goose with his club and starts pounding the goose on pounding the goose on the head, just pounding him nonstop, and people are just standing there with their mouths open, shocked. What is this guy doing? First he hits the goose, the ball is lodged in there, the goose is wailing in pain, and now he's beating the crap out of the goose.
He
just pounding the hell out of the goose, Terry. Wouldn't stop.
He'd hit it once, miss once, hit it once to kind of prolong it, you know? Because it's running around like crazy.
He was swinging, he was making contact, he was swinging, he was missing, he was swinging again, he was swinging, just nonstop pounding the goose, Terry.
To try to put it out of his misery or get his ball.
He thought he was doing it.
He immediately, immediately, without thinking, sprinted over there. His reaction was, I have to put this goose out of its misery, and some would certainly say that is the right way to go about it. The goose was certainly in some drastic pain.
Yes.
But the fact that he was so violently and just without even thinking for a second, what do I do here, just sprung to action and just starts pounding the crap out of the goose, Terry. This is the saddest story you've ever heard in your life. And everyone is just so shocked. They're not even over the shock that he hit the goose with the ball. And the next thing they know, he's running over to the goose.
I know, it's classic, man.
He's running over to the goose. He sprints at top speed. He sprints over to the goose, and he's pounding the crap out of the goose.
Size 15 shoes flying down the golf course with the club in hand. Man.
And people are just...
I better club up with the big goose. Give me my driver.
And eventually the goose does as he hopes it will and dies.
Well, what he initially started, right?
And yet people on the golf course are just with their eyes wide and their mouth just dropped, their jaw to the floor. They'd never seen such a thing from one part of it to the next. And then he explains, hey, the goose was in big misery. I had no choice. And
He's a real humanitarian.
And while no one could argue with him, just the way he went about
down.
it
right.
was just so unbelievable that it's quite a story, and one I'll never forget, even though I wasn't there, and yet I feel like I was.
Makes you wonder if you have a sick child in front of him, what he'll do. No, it's fine. I'll go to the doctor. Back off.
Yeah. No, I know what to do here. I know exactly how to handle this. Bam! I know what to do.
Great
golf course, you can't even wear a tank top, much less kill animals.
6'5", helpless kind of guy, and just thought he was doing the right thing. I don't know if he would get in trouble for that. It began as an accident. His shot was just a 1 in a million accident.
Right.
And then what he did in reaction to that, one may say was the right thing to actually do, but the way he went about it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. The noise the goose was making was scaring the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
Man, clubbing it.